Stay with me until the very end of this video, because in the final part, I will be sharing my own opinion on this story. And believe me when I say it could truly shock you. So do not click away, do not skip ahead, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our deep dives into the biggest stories that everyone is talking about. Your support keeps these reports going. And if you stay with us until the end, you will hear an analysis that might completely change how you see this situation. Now, let's get into today's news. A story that has been stirring up both excitement and frustration among fans across the globe. A story that blends love, fame, music, Hollywood, and the kind of obsession that only true fandoms can generate. The name at the center of it all is Ethan Slater, the 33-year-old actor who has been capturing attention not only for his role in the highly anticipated Wicked adaptation, but also for his relationship with none other than Ariana Grande. Their romance has been a lightning rod for discussion ever since it first emerged publicly in July of 2023. But now the spotlight is shifting in a new direction, toward the massive phenomenon that is Ariana Grande's return to the stage, her Eternal Sunshine Tour. And this is where Ethan Slater's words come into play. Words that reveal not just affection for Ariana, but also a message for the fans, the Arianators, who found themselves locked out of what was supposed to be their dream come true. But let's not rush straight into the core of his statement. Before we unravel what he said, let's build the scene together. Imagine this, the entertainment world buzzing with anticipation as Ariana Grande, at 32 years old, steps back into the touring arena for the first time in 6 years. That is a long silence in the world of pop superstardom. The last time fans had the chance to see her live was during the Sweetener World Tour back in 2019. An era that feels like a lifetime ago, considering all that has happened since. And when she finally announced on August 28th that she would be hitting the road once again with the Eternal Sunshine Tour set for 2026, the response was nothing short of explosive. Ticket pre-sales crashed systems, online queues stretched for hours, and social media turned into a battlefield of emotions. Joy for the lucky, despair for the unlucky. For many fans, the dream of seeing Ariana live, once again, evaporated in front of their eyes, leaving them empty-handed after an exhausting digital struggle. Pre-sale tickets were gone almost instantly, and when the general sale opened, history repeated itself. Within minutes, the shows were sold out, and this, understandably, set off a storm of disappointment. People took to Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, sharing screenshots of endless loading pages, error messages, and the heartbreaking words, "sold out." And then came the twist. Ariana herself, fresh from her stunning win at the MTV Video Music Awards, where she secured Video of the Year on September 7th, decided to respond to this overwhelming demand. Just days later, she announced that more dates were being added to the tour, a move that made headlines, sparked renewed hope, but also fueled even more frenzy as fans scrambled to try again. For those who had already failed once, the fear of failing again loomed heavy. The Eternal Sunshine Tour, before even beginning, was proving itself to be more than just a concert series. It was turning into a cultural event, a symbol of longing, and a test of loyalty. And this is where Ethan Slater enters. On September 10th, on the red carpet of the Gen V Season 2 premiere in West Hollywood, all eyes were on him. Reporters were eager to ask questions, not just about his role in Prime Video's explosive The Boys spin-off, but about his personal life, about Ariana, about the tour that has taken over headlines. And when people caught up with him, his words carried both warmth and a certain awareness of what fans were going through. He didn't dodge the topic. He didn't hide behind vague politeness. Instead, he leaned into the conversation with honesty. He began by praising Ariana's fan base, calling them unbelievable, incredible, and ferocious in their support of her. Strong words that painted a picture of loyalty, of passion, of a fandom that refuses to be quiet. He described it as a beautiful thing, a testament to the bond between artist and audience. But then he added something more. He expressed his hope that those who missed out on tickets would still get opportunities to see her perform. He acknowledged the intensity of the situation, how overwhelming it was to see so many people trying desperately to be part of this tour. And he framed it as an amazing thing that Ariana Grande's shows are so desired, so sought after, that the demand itself becomes a reflection of her power as an artist. This was not just the voice of an actor promoting his partner's work. It was a statement from someone who sees firsthand what it means to live alongside a global superstar, someone who feels the electricity of her fandom and who recognizes both the joy and the frustration that come with it. For the Arianators who felt left behind, his message was simple. Do not give up hope. More chances may come. Stay patient, stay loyal. Now, let's pull the camera back and look at the bigger picture. Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine Tour is not just another tour announcement. It is her return to live performance after a 6-year hiatus. 6 years in which the music industry has transformed. New stars have risen, trends have shifted, and yet Ariana's place at the top has remained secure. Her voice, her artistry, and her connection with her audience have only grown stronger during this time away. And now, as she prepares to step back onto the stage, she carries with her not just songs, but a story, one that includes triumphs, challenges, controversies, and love. The choice of the name Eternal Sunshine is itself symbolic. Sunshine that never fades, light that never disappears. It speaks to resilience, to hope, to beauty that endures no matter the storm. And for fans, that name has become a promise that Ariana is not just back, but back in a way that will leave a mark. And with Ethan Slater by her side, speaking up with admiration and reassurance, the narrative becomes even more compelling. It is no longer just Ariana Grande's story. It is their story, together, playing out in front of millions. But let us not forget that Ethan Slater is not simply Ariana Grande's boyfriend. He is carving his own path, one that is becoming increasingly impressive. His role as Bach in Wicked, for Good, alongside Ariana's Glinda, places him directly in the heart of one of the most anticipated cinematic events of the decade. The film, arriving in theaters on November 21st, will introduce both of them to audiences in a shared universe that blends music, magic, and legend. And beyond that, Ethan's recurring role as Thomas Godolkin in Gen V Season 2 is proof of his growing presence in the world of streaming entertainment. For him, this is not just a supporting role in someone else's story. It is a parallel rise, a trajectory that deserves its own recognition. Prime Video's synopsis of Gen V Season 2 gives us a taste of what fans can expect. A world where Homelander rules with an iron fist, where students at Godolkin University are being shaped into something darker, something more dangerous, and where war brews between humans and supes alike. It is a universe of power, corruption, and chaos, and Ethan Slater is stepping right into it. For fans of The Boys, this is yet another reason to pay attention to his career. So here we stand at the intersection of love, fame, fandom, and art. Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine Tour is sold out before it even begins. Fans are desperate, emotions are high, and Ethan Slater is offering words of comfort. The world of entertainment is buzzing. Stories are overlapping, and the narrative is bigger than any one concert. ... And this is where I must remind you once again, stay until the very end of this video, because my opinion on this entire situation, from the ticket chaos to Ethan's comments to the larger story of Ariana's return, is something you absolutely do not want to miss. It may surprise you, it may even shock you, but it will certainly make you think differently about what is unfolding before our eyes. So keep watching, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let's continue this journey together as we peel back the layers of this extraordinary moment in pop culture. And now, we finally arrive at the point I promised you at the very beginning of this report. My own opinion about everything that has been happening around Ariana Grande, Ethan Slater, and the Eternal Sunshine Tour. And let me be completely honest with you. My perspective on this might not be what you expect. Some of you may even disagree with me, but I believe it's important to go beyond the headlines and look at the deeper meaning behind all of this. Let's start with the ticket chaos. The fact that Ariana Grande's tour sold out almost instantly, leaving countless fans devastated, is both a tragedy and a triumph. On one hand, it shows just how strong her place in the music world remains after 6 long years away from touring. It proves that Ariana is not just a star. She is a phenomenon. Her influence hasn't weakened, her artistry hasn't been forgotten, and her fan base has not moved on. If anything, they are hungrier than ever. That is rare in today's music industry, where fame can be fleeting and loyalty often dissolves overnight. In that sense, what we're seeing is proof that Ariana has achieved something few artists ever do. She has built a legacy that lasts. But on the other hand, there is a real issue here. The way ticket sales are being handled in the modern entertainment industry leaves many true fans excluded. Ordinary people who save up money and dream of these moments are pushed aside by bots, resellers, and systems that reward speed over loyalty. The Eternal Sunshine Tour has now become not just a celebration of Ariana's return, but also a reminder of how broken the ticketing system truly is. It is unfair, it is frustrating, and it risks alienating the very people who have kept her career alive through years of streaming, buying, and supporting. My belief is that artists, Ariana included, need to take stronger stands against these practices. Because music, at its core, should be about connection, not exploitation. Now, let's talk about Ethan Slater. His comments, while simple on the surface, actually reveal something important. He could have stayed silent. He could have avoided speaking on behalf of Ariana's fandom. But instead, he chose to acknowledge their struggle, to validate their frustration, and to remind them not to lose hope. That shows awareness, and more importantly, respect. And I think this matters. Because when you are in a relationship with someone as famous as Ariana Grande, it is easy to be overshadowed, easy to be reduced to just a side character in her story. But Ethan is showing that he can stand beside her, not behind her. His words prove that he understands her world. And by extension, the world of her fans. Of course, there will always be those who criticize. Some will say he has no right to speak. Others will question his motives, and many will continue to judge their relationship. But in my view, this is unnecessary noise. What matters is the sincerity of his statement, and the way it bridges the gap between Ariana and her fandom. He isn't trying to be the star. He is simply supporting the star, and that is something worth recognizing. And then we come to the bigger picture. The Eternal Sunshine Tour is not just a series of concerts. It is a cultural moment. It marks the return of one of the most important voices of her generation, a woman who has been through both public triumphs and private storms, who has faced scrutiny, loss, and controversy, and yet continues to rise. Ariana Grande's resilience is embedded in this tour. The very fact that so many people are desperate to see her live again is proof of the emotional bond she has created with millions. She is not just performing songs. She is performing pieces of people's lives, memories, and identities. And so, here is my final thought. Yes, it is frustrating that so many fans have been left without tickets. Yes, the system is flawed. Yes, it feels unfair. But we should also recognize the beauty of what this represents. Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine Tour is proof that music still matters, that live performance still has the power to unite and electrify. and that even in an age of streaming and digital distance, people will fight for the chance to stand in a room together and experience something real. That in itself is powerful. As for Ethan Slater, I think his words, though simple, will resonate longer than some expect. They show that Ariana is not facing this wave of demand and emotion alone. She has someone beside her who understands, who respects her fans, and who is willing to acknowledge their struggles. That is not a small thing. That is something that may ultimately strengthen her relationship, not just with him, but with her entire fan base. So, my opinion, to put it simply, is this. The chaos we are witnessing is not just about tickets. It is about passion. It is about loyalty. It is about the connection between an artist and her fans that cannot be broken, no matter how many digital lines crash, no matter how many resellers profit, no matter how many people are left waiting. Ariana Grande is back. She is stronger than ever, and despite all the frustration, what we are really seeing is history in the making. And that is why this story matters.